I want to see my kids grow up. I want to see my grandbaby grow up. You know, I want to be there for them.
April has a very strong family history of breast cancer. And because of this, she was recommended to undergo genetic testing because of the concern, could there be something running in the family that might be predisposing her family members and potentially her to the development of breast cancer.
When I went there for my interview with Faith, she kind of ran down the history of my whole family and doing the workup with blood tests and things like that, and had a lot of the questions about who I knew that was positive either for the breast cancer or for the BRCA gene.
One of the most important parts about making a genetic diagnosis is that not only does this pertain to the individual that's sitting in front of me, but it pertains to his or her siblings, it pertains to his or her children, parents, aunts, uncles. There might be other people who might have the same variation in a gene.
We have an extreme high history. It goes all the way back to my grandmother's sisters. Everyone has either passed away or have done preventive measures. It hasn't skipped any of us.
When someone is found to be positive for that BRCA mutation, it's all or none. There's no gradation to it. If they're found to be positive, they have an 80% risk of developing breast cancer during their lifetime and about a 50% chance of developing ovarian cancer.
In April's case, she tested positive for one of the genes associated with hereditary breast cancer and ovarian cancer. And so then we could talk about strategies.
We sit and spend a long time, the geneticist, our team and so on, to discuss what can we do to reduce your risks. And what we tell them is that the most efficient but the most aggressive technique is that of performing bilateral prophylactic mastectomies and to consider removing both of their ovaries.
The concern about ovarian cancer, there aren't good options for screening. So most individuals, when they're done having their families, of course, are going to opt to remove the ovaries and fallopian tubes and prevent ovarian cancer.
I pretty much knew what I was going to do, but I wanted to have all three of the surgeries at once. I didn't want to have three separate surgeries.
Well, there's huge psychosocial issues when you start talking about removing both their breasts and taking their ovaries out, and femininity and cosmetics and so on. And it is huge. So between our geneticist, our team, our breast care coordinator, we try to help them through not just the surgical aspects, but also the psychological aspects of dealing with this. It's huge.
I was very self-conscious with the way I looked and the way I felt, and having the ideas of having a bilateral mastectomy done was a big thing.
Things now are so different than years ago, because now when we do prophylactic mastectomies for this type of a patient, we don't do the standard mastectomy where you remove the nipple-areolar complex and remove a lot of skin. And the fact is, we do nipple-sparing mastectomies and don't remove any skin.
One of the things I think that we have that's really special is that the doctors, the counselors, the nurses, we're not only just treating if a person has cancer, treating that cancer. We're trying to prevent another one. We're trying to look ahead.
So clearly when I see any patient here that's a new patient for whatever reason, we take a very detailed family history, history of when she had her first children, has she ever had any previous biopsies that were not entirely normal, all these different things that might tip us off that, this patient's a good candidate for going through an entire evaluation with our geneticist to find out exactly what are her risks. Because, we've done a lot as far as treating cancer, but now, if we can identify people to prevent the cancer, how great is that?
I'm back down to the 10 percentile just like anybody else, and I still have that option that I could get it, but in the back of my mind, I know that I've done everything that I could to prevent that, and I'm doing well. I'm 45 years old, doing well, and moving right along with my life.